Navy's youngest sailors indeed. For this is HMS Ganges, where about 1,800 boys first learn what it takes to become a fully fledged member of the senior service under the motto, fear God, honor the King. And this is where they learn. This shore establishment, after 4 previous HMS Ganges, or wooden men of war, we've now come ashore. And this one is at the junction of the rivers Stour and Orwell in Suffolk, with Harwich on one side of the estuary and Felixstowe on the other. Well, now, I think it's about time we met one of these young mateleurs face to face. And so here's young Paul Bellringer, who's a junior radio operator, isn't it, Paul?
Yes, that's right, sir.
Aged?
16 and a half.
Now, where do you live?
In Cheltenham, Gloucestershire.
West Countryman?
Yes.
Now, about this rig you've got on, this is a working rig, isn't it? You've got lots of rigs.
Yes, there's quite a few rigs, and this, as you say, this is the working rig.
Called
number 8.
So you've got 7 others?
Yes, you might as well say that. We got various rigs for different activities and all that sort of thing.
And life's made easy if you're instructors, I see, because your name is on your breast pocket there.
It might be made easy for the instructors, sir, but it isn't easy for us when we have to throw our names in.
All right, I see. Right, well, since we're on the riverfront, Paul, I suggest we start here by having a look at some of the many elements that go up to make this ancient art of seamanship. Now, what have we got here on the foreshore?
Well, I think the first thing is this dry land cutter. You can see some juniors here, they're rigging it.
Yes.
When you first come to Ganges, before you go out on the river, sailing and pulling, you have to know what you're doing, and so you don't get into any trouble. So that's why they're taught on the shore here, on the dry land, these dry land craft.
And that's the instructor there on the right?
Yes, that's the instructor who tells them it all, and after a while they get quite efficient at it, and then they can take the boat out. They can take the boat out on their own.
That, unfortunately, we shan't be seeing this afternoon because there isn't really quite enough wind.
No, but usually there is quite a bit of wind round this district, but this afternoon it seems to have gone.
Now, we moved across to what? What's this?
These are a pair of sheer legs. They're not used so much in the Navy now, but they're used for making...
And they presumably teach you how to use spars and knots and lashings.
Yes, that's all, the finer seamanship.
Gracious me, is this real or practice?
No, this is just a practice. They sometimes do this so that if it ever happens while they're at sea, they'll know what to do.
Man overboard, away lifeboat crew.
That sounds dramatic enough. Now what's happening?
Well, there's just been a man overboard as a practice, and so all the boys that are near the boat are running down the pier.
Well, the nearest ones
to the lifeboat run to it.
They're way down the jetty.
It's right round the corner.
Here they come, thudding past us now.
And they've all got a specific job to do. When they get there, they all know what to do. That's one of the first things we're taught when we come to Ganges, so we know what to do in case there is an emergency while we're on board ship. You see, this is all our training for when we do come on board ship. You see the boat here. There's a boy already got in the boat. There's another one just climbing up the Jacob's ladder. There's a crew of 5 plus 1 coxswain. Yes. You can see them putting on the life jackets there.
Now those davits are swung out in the ordinary way.
Yeah, in the ordinary way they're swung in. Oh. And I believe from a classroom at the top of the hill back there, it only takes about 4 minutes from the classroom to swing the davits out and to get the boat in the water.
That's remarkable. The others, meantime, are standing by on their falls.
Yes, yes, that's right. They're called the boat's falls. You can see them taking the turns off ready for lowering.
Yes.
That's, there's quite a few boys on there because the lives of those 6 boys depend on what they do. See, they'll check that line out very slowly.
Now, normally, or in some cases, this boat might be let down from a ship. Might it not?
Yes, and the ship will be underway at the time. They're checking away now, and you can see the crew holding on to lifelines in case the boat suddenly went away under them. They'd still have something to hold on to.
Then
when the boat's ready to slip, it'll be slipped in a minute from a disengaging gear when somebody pulls a lever.
Yes.
And so the boat will drop into the water. This is because if a ship was moving and the boat was allowed to dangle in the water, it'd be crushed against the ship's side.
And there it happened.
It's just slipped. Now you see the crew quickly get out the oars and cast off from the side of the jetty to rescue the man in the water.
Right, rig up.
And they're making their way as fast as they can to the
Yes.
chapel fill in the drink. Well, that's one happy man overboard who's been collected and put back in the dry again. Oh, Paul, we seem to have a visitor. What's this coming alongside?
This happens to be one of the 3 MFVs that belong to HMS Ganges.
Line over!
Right over. Goodness dear, do you think he means me? I'm about nearest. I'll have a try. You hold that.
I'm no expert, but we'll just have a try. I think that's very good. Expert, please.
That's just how it should be done, presumably. All the way, every bit of 25 yards, I think.
Yes, sir.
Well, now tell me more about these things.
Well, they're a very handy craft for teaching juniors how to handle a small powerboat like that. They have weekend expeditions where they take juniors somewhere, and the juniors have a chance to work at the engines and take the wheel. And they also have day sea training ships where the boats are taken out to sea. And it generally gives the juniors a chance to give them instruction in the use of small boats, how to use small boats.
Also, how to bring them alongside.
Yes, and how to bring them alongside.
And still more, how to throw a line.
And how to throw a line.
Now, now, Paul, we seem to be onto what looks to me like a pulling race. Is that it?
Yes, that's true. This is a race between 6 whalers. There's 4 divisions in this. There are 2 from Anson Division,
Yes.
2 from Duncan Division, 1 from Hawke, and 1 from Frobisher Divisions.
And these took part in a recent regatta, I believe.
Yes, we had the divisional races not so long ago, and these are the ones that qualified for the finals.
Well, now, number 5 boat seems to be in
Yes,
the
I
lead.
believe that comes from Duncan Division.
Uh-huh.
And there's
well,
Anson
5 in the
Division.
crew, 1 cox.
Yes.
And they've not got more than about 30 yards to go.
Yes,
I
it
should say
looks
there'll
like
be...
it looks like Duncan are going to get this, and
Just
Anson
about.
might be second. Who
That's
are on
7,
the far
is it?
side.
Boat
Number
7.
7, yes.
Well, now let's watch out for it. That's it. That's the finish, and the winning boat was number 5 from Duncan Division, right? Oh, is that part of the drill too?
Yes, that's the old tradition. They chuck the winning coxswain in the drink.
Doesn't seem to be a very nice way of rewarding the chap who got you there, who steered you.
Well,
but
you
still.
see, I think the crew seems to think that the coxswain doesn't do any work, so they make him pay for it in the end. That seems to be the general view.
Well, the wind's freshened up quite a lot, Paul, since we saw that rigging sails on the foreshore. And now we've got a couple of cutters, I think. They are actually out in the river, haven't we?
Yes, they are a couple of cutters, and
Do you go out in those yourself?
yes, a coxswain, you can qualify to become a coxswain, so you can take one of these boats out any time you want to, and then the coxswain makes up a crew of his own and takes them out for a sail in the afternoon. The rig of this cutter is the sloop rig, and its actual length is 32 feet.
Is it difficult to handle?
No, it's quite easy to handle and quite
Must be a lot of fun
manoeuvrable.
on a nice breezy
It
afternoon
is.
like this, I think. Very nice picture they make. Well, I think that just about covers the waterfront down here at Ganges and all the numerous things that go to learning seamanship. But there's a very great deal more than that in learning how to be a sailor. So here are just a few impressions as we recorded on our film cameras. Well, Paul, what does it really feel like to be one of that lot, a new boy?
Well, as you get disembarked from the bus, you're just beginning to feel pretty homesick. And especially when you walk in those gates, the place looks pretty bleak.
You don't quite know what you're in for.
No, and especially with the junior instructors and the POs there to meet you.
So I expect their bark's worse than their bite, isn't it?
Yeah.
Now what happens, Joe?
Well, you're all checked off on a list to make sure you're all there, and you're put in respective messes, which, by the way, these are named after current ships such as bulwark and daring.
Narrow trousers and a lot of hair, and soon to lose both, I think.
Oh yes, they very soon lose their hair. Because it's got to be regulation length, and so quite a lot comes off on my first visit to the barbers. But after a while, you settle into the routine, and after a hard day's work, there's nothing better than to be able to have a shower bath. But one of the most bewildering things is collecting all your new kit. You're just marched into this building, lined up against this counter, on which there's a massive pile of kit, which you don't know what it's for, but you're just told to put it into your kit bag. Also, you're measured up for suits, and you're matched for colour, because it looks much smarter if the whole suit is the same colour.
Those wide trousers look wide enough to jump through almost, don't they?
Oh yes, they're a bit bewildering too at first, tripping over them.
And now the parade ground.
Yes, one of the first things you do when you join is learn the elementary drill. And with the instructor on at you, you don't know what's what and who's who. But after a while you get it, it isn't too bad.
Right, get him on the right. Get out! Perfect. 1, 2, 3, out. Left, right, left. Watch your direction. Right side up the front.
That's a very welcome sound. You're glad to be able to go along to the Nafit stand easy and have a soft drink, especially if the weather's hot.
Well, that went down quick enough.
25% of the time at Ganges is spent in school, and a lot of this time is spent in laboratories.
What other subjects do you have to do?
Oh, we also have to do quite a bit of navigation, naval history, geography, English.
And these are the junior naval mechanics, aren't they? Air mechanics, rather. Going at the double. And, of course, a pilot's life depends later on the certificates which these lads will sign.
We also have mechanics.
Used to be known as stokers?
Yes, they used to be called stokers.
And I hear they really love taking those engines apart and putting them together again.
Yes, I believe they do.
This is our life, it can be yours, is it?
Not likely. This is radar. It's another branch in seamanship. And the final branch is gunnery. They're on a twin 4-inch mounting here. The shells are pretty heavy and you have to catch them in a special way, otherwise you're likely to drop them on your foot, and if you did, you'd know all about it.
I bet you would.
We do quite a lot of PT, and here you see some juniors doing judo. We also do trampoline work.
That always looks fun.
It is, rather. And this sort of thing builds you up quite an appetite.
What's the food really like, Paul?
Well, the variety isn't too bad, because at the midday meal we get about 3 choices. But the cooking isn't too good. But that isn't surprising, really, considering they've got to cook for 1,800 juniors, and also they've got to get them through the dining hall in about half an hour.
And now pay parade.
Yes, that's a very welcome sight on a Wednesday. Second-class juniors getting 10 shillings, first-class juniors getting 15.
And this, of course, is in the Nelson Hall, where you have all the
Yes,
figureheads.
we have several figureheads. That's one of the original Ganges, and also one of St. Vincent. And in the finer points of seamanship, there's several ways to coil down a rope. It's been cheesed down there. And we are taught several bends and hitches. One of the most important of these is the bowline. And being as your life might depend on this knot, you must know it thoroughly, and the best way to teach you is to tie it on your own body. That is the fancy knot called the Turk's head. And then there's more marching. But by this time, it's only learning the finer points of drill, and it doesn't seem so bad. In fact, you can nearly enjoy it.
But never quite.
No, not quite. We have a divisional march past once a week, with the commander taking the salute.
Harking back to specialist branches for a moment, Paul, what's your own?
My branch is communications. When we pass out at Ganges, we have to be able to receive Morse at 22 words a minute and also to be able to send it. We also do semaphore. That's me. I don't think I could have been very many weeks on course when I did that. And we also do typewriting.
What's that, receiving Morse in your
Yes, we
headphones?
receive Morse straight onto the typewriter. And there's also, we use the oldish flashing lamp.
Well, Paul, on that piece of film, I think we saw just about all the signalling methods there are, both ancient and modern, including an oldish lamp. But now we're back on the jetty and looking at the signal tower up there. What's that signal tower actually used for?
Well, the signal tower is used to train juniors in receiving flashing, and it's also used to send messages out to ships which might come into the harbour at any time.
Mm-hmm. Well, there's an Aldous at work up there now, I think. It looks as though it's pointing our way as well. How about you read
Papa,
that message?
India, Papa, Echo, Pipe, Delta, Oscar, Whiskey, November. Pipe down. Sounds like somebody's trying to be rude to us.
One of your friends out there, or maybe he's being rude to me. Unfortunately, neither of us have got the chance of being rude back to him, but still. Well, let's not imagine that it's all work and no play, to use the old cliche for young sailors here who are learning how to go out later on and join the fleet, because there's plenty of play as well. So let's just see, on film, some of the things they do. Well, those are certainly splendid playing fields you've got at Ganges, Paul.
Yes, we have got some very good playing fields, and in the foreground you can see us playing cricket. We have quite a lot of practice at this, so we have quite good Ganges teams. Also, we play what's called softball. It's not quite so skillful, but nevertheless it's fast and furious. And one of the cooler sports, of course, is water polo. In this match I actually played, we have inter-league matches. And after matches finish, you know all about it.
Pretty hard going.
It is. One of our newer hobbies is archery.
Not quite a bull, but never mind.
No, they're not very skillful yet, but they'll improve. And another hobby of ours is campcraft. There's a tent being rigged. It's very useful. And that's me doing a bit of cooking. My mother wouldn't believe it, though.
Well, throwing the bangers.
Yes, very enjoyable, that. You can always eat them afterwards. And once a year we have what's called Parents' Day. And it's quite a sight to see all the parents rushing in the gates to meet their respective sons. And one of the main centres of interest as you first come in is the mast, of course.
Family reunions. He's got a pretty sister.
It's not his sister, actually.
Well, good for him.
As I say, the mast is very impressive. It's 142 foot high, and it dominates the whole of Ganges. We laid on several sideshows for these people. All the various branches laid on their own displays. And the first one here is the gunnery display. Here you see a bofa being loaded and fired as a demonstration. And torpedo and anti-submarine. They also laid on a demonstration in this of a ship being mined.
Just as well that wasn't full size, I think.
Yes, just as well.
I wonder who was the more embarrassed.
The big thing of the afternoon is when the juniors show off their prowess by doing various displays. This is the Ganges Bugle Band.
Marching on in splendid style.
Oh yes, they have plenty of training for it. And it means a little extra money too. And we also had a Royal Guard, and it was almost the same guard that took part in the Queen's birthday review. We had one of the main displays was PT. The muscular PTI you can see there, he used to be Mr. Hong Kong once, now he's just Mr. Ganges. The vaults aren't too difficult because we have quite a lot of PT and vaulting, but nevertheless they look quite impressive.
Do indeed.
Then the big thing of the afternoon.
After they've cleared their own...
After they've cleared their own trappings away. That's the green rubber bit.
Is?
But the big thing is the mast manning ceremony. can see them marching on here with the side party, or with the bosun's pipes, for this ceremony. And the mass bands there, those are the Royal Marines and the bugle band combined, and also the Royal Guard.
The same parade ground all right, but there are no mothers present today. And in a moment we're to see the mast there, manned by the 82 boys who perform this feat, and that's the right word for it too, at the drop of a hat, or perhaps more accurately, the piping shrill of a bosun's call. But first let's meet Ganges' captain, Captain Mackenzie. Now, if any of you are at all familiar with the exploits of Her Majesty's submarine Thrasher during the last war, well, you're looking at the distinguished skipper of that submarine. How do you find it, sir, after commanding a submarine with a crew of, 50 odd, and coming to Ganges with, 1,200 boys and a great many instructors?
Well, it's a totally different job, of course. I've never had any experience of the training service before, which I regret, because I simply cannot imagine a finer job than this, and being in command of such a very great establishment.
In other words, you've taken to it quite easily, have you?
Well, it took me the whole of the first term anyway to get used to and find out all that was going on, but I love it now, absolutely.
Some people might say that a lot of tradition is disappearing in this modern day and age. How are you able to maintain the great deal of tradition there is in the Royal Navy with these young boys of 15?
Well, Ganges is steeped in tradition. We've been training boys here for over 50 years, and tradition, of course, does play a tremendous part in that. And I'm quite certain that any boy who joins here, by the time he's done 2 months in the establishment, he is extremely proud of being here, and all it means, and his uniform, and the fact that he's joined the Navy.
A very fair answer. Now, if you were asked to sum up in a sentence the purpose of the training here, what would you say?
It's a pretty tall order to put it in a sentence, but I should say that it is to fit a boy in 1 year so that he can take his place in the fleet when he leaves here, ready to carry out all the responsibilities and duties which any sailor may be expected to do at any time.
Well, thank you very much, sir. I expect you things to do, so we mustn't keep you.
I have quite a lot, certainly, but could I first of all introduce my commander, who is really the key to the whole establishment here?
Indeed, sir. Yes, be delighted. Commander Trick, I believe.
Commander Trick.
You're an old boy of this establishment, aren't you, sir?
Yes, I am.
Well, perhaps before I have a word with you, I could have a brief word with the button boy. Could I do that?
Yes, indeed.
Now, you're junior radio operator Cliff, isn't it? Button boy. Now, what exactly is the button boy?
I'm the chap who stands on the top and pens there.
Chap who stands on the top?
Sir.
Quite a long way up, too, isn't it?
142 feet.
142 feet.
Sir.
Well, we shall be seeing you do that in a moment. How big is it up there? Can you show me?
Oh, about that big.
And you stand on that?
Sir.
How do you stand upright? Have you got anything to support you, or?
Well, there's a lightning conductor on the button, and it curves around like that. And there's a big knob there. You just lean your knees against it like that.
That's all there is to it?
Sir.
Do you ever look down?
Yes, sir.
You do look down?
Sir.
From that height?
Sir.
Goodness me, well, better you than me. I think perhaps you'd better go and get on with it, don't you, sir?
Sir.
Yes. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
Right, Commander, well, if we're ready, perhaps things could get underway.
Yes, certainly.
Now, that's the bosun's call we were talking about.
Now, that's the bosun's call, and that's the piping party. And in fact, what they're piping is way aloft.
And up they go, in time to the music.
And up they go in time to the music.
Past what looks like a safety net, is it?
Yes, that is indeed a safety net. And fortunately, we haven't had any need to use it.
Jolly good thing, too.
Very good thing indeed. Of course, they're going up now in slow time, but as you can well imagine, in the old days, in the case of an emergency, the order was given to way aloft.
You say in the old days, what was the origin of the ceremony then?
Well, in the origin, really, goes back to the very early days of sail. And this ceremony of manning the mast was part of the whole ceremony of manning ship. And ships were manned when they were inspected or visited by admirals, flag officers, or indeed when the fleet perhaps was visited at its anchorage by royalty.
Now, where are they getting to now, the leaders there?
Well, now they're just approaching what we call the buttock shrouds, and they're just going past the Devil's Elbow, which is perhaps the most difficult part when you're climbing this
Some
mast.
come through the hole, which I believe is called the lubbers.
Yes, that's called the Lover's Hole, and of course that's the easy way up. And no real
Well, you call it easy, still.
no real sailor dares go through the Lover's Hole.
Are all boys in the establishment capable of doing this? There are 82 there, but that's a long way
Yes.
from being the whole complement.
Yes, indeed. All boys, when they join Ganges, have to go up over the mast. It's quite a challenge to the boy joining HMS Ganges.
Indeed, I should think it was.
But once he's achieved it, he never looks back, and he's never worried about going up there anymore.
Do you have any lack of volunteers?
No lack of volunteers.
Not even for button boy?
Not even for button boy.
Good luck. Now they're getting to what?
Now you can see the button boy is going up what we call the Jacob's Ladder. And
What's the yard beneath him in that sort of half moon there?
that's the topgallant yard, or upper yard. And
Now the button boy's getting to what?
now he's getting to the trestle trees, the topgallant trestle trees.
And he's a long way from the ground.
And he's a long way from the ground, and that last bit of the climb is not easy.
Up
And
the bare pole.
up the bare pole, and if it's wet, if it's been raining, or if we were at sea, if it was salty, then it's not easy to get
Then
up.
you had to do it, but of course here, obviously, in bad weather, this wouldn't happen, would it?
In bad weather, normally it wouldn't happen.
Now up he goes onto his button,
Now he goes onto his button, yes.
and says he can look down quite happily. What a boy.
Yes. Yes, it's quite high. The ordinary classes, when they come up and they do their training, going over the mast, they're not required to go higher than the half moon there. But all boys, if they wish, and during their recreational periods, can go up to the button. And in fact, quite a number do, of course.
I was just rather waiting for that explosion to ask you what the significance of that was.
That is, in fact, the sunset gun, and is fired in the flagship to denote sunset. And that is when all the ensigns are lowered for the day.
And the button boy comes to the salute,
Button boy comes to salute.
and I suggest we just watch and listen to this splendid sunset ceremony.
Yes.
That was?
Now the next pipe that you get is to lay in, and you will see them all closing in towards the mast.
Ah, there they go.
Yes. The next pipe will be piped down from aloft, and then you'll see them coming down the rigging.
Not down the way they went up, but down the nearest...
No, they'll come down the stays and all come down at top speed.
If they do, too. How long does it take to clear the mast?
I think it takes about 12 to 14 seconds. see, some of them come down very quickly. They're inclined to sort of slide down, but if they do that sort of thing, they can burn their hands. In
Yes,
fact,
indeed.
some of the more enthusiastic boys who like to get down very quickly do burn their hands, but it's very difficult to stop them because they're so keen on this particular ceremony.
Now, I believe the next part of the ceremony is the button boy coming forward to receive his silver crown from the captain, is it?
Yes, that's correct. You'll see him doubling forward to in a minute. He comes up before the captain, and the captain gives him his reward, which is...
Here he comes. And this is an appropriate finale for a very impressive ceremony, I'm sure you'll agree, as button boy Cliff receives his silver crown from Ganges' captain. And surely we must also pay tribute, not only to him, but to the other 1,200 boys of HMS Ganges, who in the expert guiding hands of the captain and instructional staff are learning in modern fashion the ancient and traditional craft of being sailors under the white ensign.